Lucas. This is a bit of lit, and I want to talk about a book that completely devastated me. That would be William McKeever's Emperors of the Deep: Sharks, the ocean's most mysterious, most misunderstood, and most important guardians. And it is sobering. It is horrific and tragic, and it just hurts to read because every page brings more horror stories. William McKeever sets out to set the record straight on sharks because there's a bad image of them, which he makes a callback to Jaws, the book, not so much the movie, which I think would be more in the minds of people, but anyway, the book started it all, and mainstream success, I suppose, but he does bring up other stories of other shark-related news before the book ever came out for Jaws. And anyway, he wants to set the record straight to show that sharks are not nearly as dangerous as humans may think they are because of a misconception they might have from Jaws and anything else that gives the wrong idea. And there's a statistic he points to that about 4 people a year are killed by sharks, which is tragic, I guess. That it is. I get, to me, that's kind of surprising that it's so low. I would think it'd be in the tens at least, not quite 100, but it's very low. But what is more surprising is that there's not even a competition. It's not even remotely close, the back and forth between humans and sharks. Sharks killing about 4, which is way lower than I could have thought. I had low expectations. 4 humans versus an estimated number of 100 million sharks a year. And that's on the low end. The high end is like 276 million sharks a year, but there's just not enough evidence to fully make that claim. But the safe bet, according to research, is 100 million sharks a year. And that's how the book starts. It's a book that advocates for sharks and conservation of sharks, and my God, I didn't realize how much they needed it. This book is all about our relationship with sharks and how god-awful that is. There's a lot of information about how sharks are sort of built, how they evolved to be the apex predators that they are. There's bits about different sharks, the mako sharks and the hammerhead sharks, and different adaptations they've had with their fins, with how they can sense things sort of electrically, and how they actually can't smell blood like you might have heard, because like any trace amounts of blood that would come from a gash on your finger, for example, would be completely diluted by the ocean. But your body sends electrical impulses and sort of fish, and movement will help with that. And that was really incredible information. Then it starts talking about commercial fishing and finning, for example, that a lot of Asian countries are into, from Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, Japan, and even in Costa Rica. It's difficult to read a book about animals because inevitably they will talk about our relationship with them. And unless it's like about dogs or cats, domestic animals like that, it's not gonna be pretty. And the whole industry of finning, and there's a lot to be said, and none of it is good. It also talks a lot about well, not just bluefin tuna, but tuna in general, and that whole industry, and how these animals are fished in these barbaric ways. And not only that, but how the fishing industry sort of pays for itself with a lot of transshipping, illegal ships out there that are not registered, and they'll get their hunt, and they'll find another boat that comes out so they can move the stock, so to speak, and then keep doing that indefinitely for months on end, and then they come in, and that whatever they come in with is the official count. And let's not even mention all the information about who the people are that are fishing and how they got there, and what their lives are like, because this book is not just a tragedy for sharks. It is a tragedy for a lot of these fishermen who are completely taken advantage of. And it's just like evil upon evil upon evil upon evil in this industry. Harrowing, completely devastating, and probably not something that you want to read given the present circumstances. You might want to have something a little more lighthearted, but if you're interested in reading about what is essentially a horror story, go right ahead and read this book. It's depressing. Thank you. Goodbye.